Hi everyone, welcome back to Abrar Knowledge channel. Do you want to remember all A to Z of statistic terms? And if your answer is yes, I'm going to share all the terms A to Z, all the 26 alphabetics of statistic we are going to learn. Let me start with the A. And why I chosen this concept is when we say that A for apple, and the brain tries to visualize that image and have it, right? So exactly the same thing. These are all the technical terms, and if you learn by alphabet, and your statistic knowledge can be improvised, and you will have a strong proficiency in statistics. Let's start with that. A. Let's talk about A. A meaning like alpha risk, right? A also has got accuracy. A also stand for attribute agreement analysis. A for appraiser. In the statistic term is called appraiser, right? Operator or appraiser. And then analysis of variations, ANOVA, analysis of variances. And then you also have generally that auto regressions you have, right? There is a tool called analyze tool pack, that is Excel embedded. You also have a check-in. You also have one feature you can add in, that is called analyze tool pack, right? And then there is also called assumption and so on. Let's go to B, right? B stand for box plot, right? You have a quartile and you have median, you have a quartile, right? Quartile 1, 2, 3 and all that. And B for bias, B for blocks. Blocks is a very important concept in design of experiment, right? And B for box cocks. If you do a transformation, box cocks is used. And B for binomial distribution, and B for bubble chart, and then so on, right? There are so many things in B. Let's say C. C for center point. In the design of experiment, you would have come across center point. And then you have C for central limit theorem, like that is also stand for C. And then you also have various things like CP, process capability ratio, CPK, process capability index, and then you also have something called C chart, control chart and all that, right? So all of these things emerge with C. And then let's go for D. D is for distribution, and DF, degree of freedom, and then DOE, design of experiment, and discrete data, DPMO, defect per million opportunity, and DPO, defect per unit. And you also have there is other terms in the discrete itself, right? The word called D and the letter called D. So then you have E for effect, and E for exponential, right? When you go exponentially higher, like exponential, this is called linear, and you go exponential, right? And then you also have E for events and so on, right? And one of the thing which I forgot, that D also for dot plot, right? So let's go to F. F for FMEA, failure mode effect analysis. F for factor, and F for forecasting. F for frequency distribution. F for F test and all that, right? Let's go for G. G for GRR, gauge repeatability and reproducibility, and G for grand mean, that X double bar, right? Grand mean. And H for hypothesis, and you have two things, alternate hypothesis and null hypothesis. And histogram also an example of this also stem from the first letter is H. And then you have a J, and let's say at H we are done, and then we are going with I. I for IMR, individual moving range chart, and Ishikawa, right, fishbone diagram, and then interval plot. And then you have interval plot, you know that intervals, right, between what is the interval. And then you have independence and important factor or the inferential value. Those things start with I. And then you have a J. J for joint, probability, joint event, joint response, and so on, right? And K for kappa value, that you get it out of the attribute agreement analysis. And K also for Kruskal values and kurtosis, right? And L for left skewed, least square, and Kevin test, and linear regressions, living test, and linear equation, linear the regressions and all that. And then M has got a long infinite list, for example mean, median, mode, and then you have multi regression, and then you have measurement, and then mean effect, mean square, and all that, mean error, and all that is coming from M. And N stand for NDC, number of distinct categories, and N for normality test, N for you have a N meaning number, NP chart also you have, and then nominal data, and non-parametric also you have. Something you have a you have a classification, and you can also use it like non-parametric also. And O for outliers, O for odd, O for observed value, O for one tail one, and ordinal data, probability and proportions, everything comes under you have O, right? And then P stand for process capability, and we saw that in C, CP, CPK and all that. PP, PPK, P chart, and then PPM, parts per million, precision, P value, Poisson distribution, Pareto, and probability, and all that it comes under P. Then you have Q for quartile, quadratic regression you have, that linear regression, quadratic regression, and cubic regressions. And one of the type, there are three types. One is linear regression, and then you have quadratic regression, and then you have cubic regressions. And then let's say let's go to the R. R also has got huge terms like regression, R value, R square, R adjusted, response, residual plots, and so on. Let's go for S. S also has got long list, standard deviation, special cause, and then stem and leaf, and then you have many things, stratification, skewness, and all that. T for t-test and tables. When you say table, you have a chi-square, Mann-Whitney, Wilcoxon, all that, right? And then you have also have there are other things also in the T also as well, right? So U chart is U stand for U chart, unbiased, unstacked, variable, and all that. Then go for V chart, V variable, any variable when you have a numeric expression variable, and you also have VIF, variance inflation factor, that is comes in regression. And then you have variation, visual explanation, like you have a box plot, you have interval plot, and various plot, contour plot, and all that. And then W for YY, and width, Wilcoxon, within group, like between group, within group, and X bar R chart, X bar S chart, Y for yield, intercept, you have intercept line, and Z, the last one, Z value, that is performance value, and ZST, short term performance, ZLT, long term performance, Z square. These are all more than 100 terms we have learned today, and with this from the statistic. So all you need to do is write it down A, B, C, D, and then whatever it comes in your mind, you just keep writing down. What will happen, you will try to remember all the terms. Over a period of time, you will be experienced, you will be able to remember more terms as well. Please do like, share, subscribe my channel. You have wonderful